Hey guys, today we got a lot going on. Taal's active and China's on the move again. Anyway, I just heard that the Solomon Islands have a draft to make some sort of security deal with China. Like there's a problem with the United States going to attack the Solomon Islands or something. I'm not sure what the security deal is all about. I just saw the news on one of the headlines that Solomon Islands might be signing with China and the draft is already written up. What I think it is it's kind of probably like a ploy. They're probably waiting to sign to see what the United States does, and if they come back and say, hey, listen, we'll offer you this here. It's kind of the way things work now. You know, see who gets the best deal. Unfortunately, that's the way the world has turned. It's not about what's right, or who's the most moral. It's about what you can get. And it's kind of like that in the United States now. Well, can I get more money off this person, or can I get more money off this person? Which one's going to throw me more money? Which one's going to give me the lowest tax rate? Which one's going to give me the bigger stimulus? And countries now, they seem to be the same way, unfortunately. Morals, that's passé. You know, morals are out of the picture now. Unfortunately, for most people, morals, they're pretty much gone. But anyway, I wanted to get on to Taal Volcano. I guess they're saying Taal's probably going to erupt pretty soon. Within the coming weeks, possibly. They're not quite sure, it sounds like. Sometimes they say that, it doesn't even happen. I was out there the other day. It was a big nothing burger. There wasn't even any steam. So when I was out there, I was thinking, wow, it must be calming down now a little bit. But I'm sure they get like volcanic earthquakes, I guess. So they're probably going off of that. And there's probably a lot of volcanic earthquakes. They probably can pick up lava flow close to the surface or something like that. So it's probably going to happen soon. Usually when they say something like that, usually there's an eruption. Or if there's not an eruption, there's usually a large amount of steam that it blows off, and then it stops and kind of, you know, slows down. But anyway, last time it erupted, we had some beautiful lightning. And if you go way back in my videos, you can see some of it. It's where we were, we only had like spurt lightning, not like they had, where they had gigantic lightning above the volcano itself. But during the night, we had spurt lightning. It wasn't making any noise. It was just quick flashes of light up in the clouds of ash and everything. And also it was raining during that time a little bit too. But we were getting this spurt lightning, more so than often. It wasn't your typical lightning during a rainstorm. It was little flashes, really quick, little spurts of it. It was kind of fun to watch at night and over the coming days. It lasted for quite a while. And then all of a sudden it just, when the volcano stopped, it stopped. Because when it erupted, it blew out a lot of this ash all over the place. So at night in all these towns that had the ash for quite a while, they had that little spurt lightning. It was kind of cool and enjoyable to watch, with the exception of all the ash that was falling on our clothes when we tried to wash clothes and put them out to dry or whatever. We had to dry most of the clothes inside the house. But anyway, I want to talk a little bit about Taal Volcano, because with everything going on in the world, I was just watching a couple of news things and they were talking about possible food shortages coming up in the future. And I wanted to put that out there because I think that could be next. There's a lot of stuff going on in the world. A lot of money being thrown all over the place. We got the wars going on now. China's probably going to pull something next. I don't like to get into this too much because I know a lot of you guys don't like to talk about it, but we can't keep our heads in the sand either. I'm not sure if they will or they won't. They're watching what's going on in the Ukraine right now. Some people are speculating that China will not do anything. They'll wait. Because they're seeing what's happened with Russia and all the sanctions going against them, and they don't want that to happen to them. And, you know, I mean, we get a lot of stuff off of China, and that includes food, by the way. And in the Philippines, it also includes food. Now, if the U.S. and other countries did put sanctions against China for trying to make a move on Taiwan or any other country or whatever they try to do, I think the sanctions that China would do would be 10 times worse than the sanctions that the U.S. would do or any other country to China. China really doesn't care. They have everything from other nations. They get their fingers in enough nations that they can take care of themselves. they're not worried about the U.S. putting sanctions on them that much. There may be some things that they need, but I'm sure they're stockpiling those in case they ever do get ready to do something. If they do it, who knows? I did just, I want to talk about that a little bit. I get kind of nervous talking about that a little bit because I know a lot of the subscribers, they don't like talking about politics and stuff, and they don't like talking about world news because, well, we're retired, and I get that, and I kind of feel the same way. I like to shut myself off from the world, but this is something, as expats, we can't shut ourselves off from. We can't. We got to kind of pay attention to it because it's important to us here. Solomon Islands is a South Pacific island nation, and with them pivoting that way, it gives China something on the other side of the Philippines now. It kind of surrounds us. Now, Palau, the United States is in there, so the U.S. is on that side also. So that kind of gives us some protections on that side. But Palau it's tiny. It's a tiny island nation. It's actually made up of people that they have the same bloodline as Filipinos, which is kind of cool when you think about it. Palau, I'm not sure about how their language is or whether their language is similar to Tagalog or anything. I'm not sure. It'd be interesting to find out. I haven't looked that up. But I mean, the United States, at least they got their fingers in a few nations here, such as Japan, places like that. So I mean, that's the good thing. Also, we have 5 bases or more that we can use inside the Philippines if we go to war. Philippines has already stated, hey, if we go to war, we're with the United States. And with the world going the way it is, and I don't like to sound all dark and scary and things like that. Some people have called me Dr. Doom or something like that in one of the emails. I thought it was kind of funny actually, because most of the time, 99% of the time, we don't talk about stuff like this. Every once in a while we bring it up. But we do have a lot of gloom and doom in the news between Taal and China. And when I woke up this morning and saw that the Solomon Islands were swinging that way, but they have talked about that before. They have spoken with China before. I think I've even spoken a little bit about that. But it is kind of scary. It is kind of worrisome. I just want to bring it out to you guys to let you guys know. So, and a lot of you guys are saying, well, Steve, Taal Volcano, are you guys afraid of what's going to happen with that? I'm not afraid because I'm in a spot where we don't get affected that much. We get a little dusting, and that's about it. It's not a big deal. It's kind of a nothing burger. But anyway, I did want to talk about that. I also want to talk about that, like I said, that food supply issue. And they're starting to notice like shelves empty in the U.S. a little bit, and in some other countries too. I'm not sure if this has anything to do with Ukraine. I'm not sure what it has to do with, but I noticed that, some countries are complaining about food shortages. So to us here in the Philippines, we might want to be a little bit aware of that because in the future, that could strike us too. So how do we take care of that? Well, have a couple cases of canned goods or whatever, sardines or whatever you like to eat, beans or something. Maybe take a visit to S&R or Landers or something and just go get some extra food if you live here in the Philippines. Make sure it's going to last you a while, and then just cycle through it so it never ages out. Put it someplace where you can cycle through it, and every time you go to the store, if you eat 3, you replace 3, and just make sure that way there, if something ever happens, you have that. And God forbid Taal Volcano has a big eruption and it does affect us, at least you got food, at least you got water. The other day, I went out and bought four boxes of water because we need it. We have to have that. Water is something you need during an emergency. And I'm thinking about actually buying another 4 cartons maybe, just put it aside. It's something that we all need here. It's something for an emergency you definitely will need. And you also might want to think about getting one of those water filters with the, it's like a container, and as you pour it, it filters the water. Those are good too. They have those. They have all types of water filters. You can buy the faucet water filters. You can hook up to your faucet and it'll filter the water as it comes through. Because when you need drinking water, let's face it, that's important. I always have extra soda, on board at our house. I have extra water. I have extra food. I have some medical things. We also always have extra juices, extra canned foods. So we don't worry too much about that stuff. I also have soups, packets of soups. it's good to have, because God forbid, you know, we have another COVID thing and you have to go inside or stay inside the house. At least you know you got some food that you can eat during a crisis or anything here in the Philippines. And let's face it, we've had some crises here. You know, we had Taal Volcano just before the COVID. Okay, so we were already wearing masks here then, and we were kind of staying in the house, and we were kind of eating the foods that, you know, we stored away. So we were using that emergency food during that time because there was a lot of ash in the air. We had masks and stuff to wear, but I mean, still, we didn't want to go out too much because we were afraid that it was going to have a huge eruption. We didn't know what was going to happen, so it was kind of scary. It's kind of scary now, you know, hearing this here. Is it really going to be that bad? Well, we survived it through the last one. I think we'll make it through this one fine. But food is definitely an issue. Water is definitely an issue. And if we have this China issue, we're going to have a lot more than that to worry about. Anyway, guys, I just want to talk a little bit about that. God bless. Take care.